Welcome back to my Dynasty Warriors 9 video. This is a new state combo tutorial, totally rewritten and most up to date, hopefully much clearer and easier to understand. Before we begin, I recommend you to put aside everything you know about state combo system for now, and to avoid confusion, please do not skip. It would be better if you also practice as you watch. If you don't have the game yet, you can always download the free trial. Now if you have the game, go to Settings, disable Auto Lock On and Auto Sheet. If you have played earlier, remove any companions you have. What is state combo? State combo basically is all about being manipulative to your enemy's state. This combat system holds different principle from Dynasty Warriors' charge attack system, which was rigid due to its linear branching structure. For example, if you want to uppercut, you have to do C2, which is square and triangle. If you want to do ranged attack, do C4, which contains 3 squares and triangle. If you want to do a better ranged attack, you gotta press it all the way down to C6. The structure is fixed, you follow the layout to access a certain move. It is not the same for state combo. If you want to gain better control, then you have to know what you're doing and the result of what you're doing. In other words, you should be thinking like, how do I get this enemy into the state that I want? There are many ways to do that. This diagram visualize the structure of state combo. Flow attack, trigger attack, and reactive attack are your main moves. These 3 are synergical. And as the arrows show you, you can begin from any of them and you can follow them up with one another. And then, from any point of these attacks, you can follow them up with special attack and Musou attack. You may return to flow attack, trigger attack, and reactive attack after executing a special attack, but Musou attack is one way and behave more like an ending to your combo. As an overview before we get into details, we have 4 kinds of flow attack, 3 kinds of trigger attack, 8 kinds of reactive attack, 1 special attack, and 2 Musou attacks. Now, let's learn flow attack. We are getting deeper, so please pay attention. What is flow attack? Flow attack is your string attack. Most flow attack moves go up to 4 frames. Some has 5 frames. Some only 3 frames. But each frame doesn't always mean one hit. As we seen in the overview earlier, flow attack has 4 types. Normal, stun, fell, and airborne. Normal, stun, fell, and airborne are states. Flow attack are bound to them, and so flow attack will be performed accordingly to the enemy's state you're facing or locked onto. The next question comes, how do I make these enemies into a state that I want? If your answer is by using trigger attack, then yes, you're correct, but that's not the only way. Unlike flow attack, trigger attacks are singular moves that aren't bound to enemy's state. There are 3 kinds of trigger attack: stun, launch, and knockdown. These serve as your primary tools to control enemy's state. Trigger attack can be charged by holding the buttons to unleash stronger damage. You can also execute trigger attack while you're in the air. However, apart from some knockdown trigger attacks out there, doing trigger attack from mid-air will send you back to the ground first. Keep in mind that stun trigger attack is only effective to enemies that are on the ground. Attacking an airborne enemy with stun trigger attack isn't going to affect their state, but rather bounce them away further. So, can we alter enemy's state without trigger attack? Yes, trigger attack isn't the only way to control enemy's state. Reactive attack is a general term for many moves that the execution is determined by different situations and chances. There are 8 moves inside reactive attack, and we will split them into 2. Chance-based, assault, counter, guard counter, finish, situational, dash, separating, smash, guard break. They are like utility attacks that will also affect your enemy's states. Situational ones can be useful in many things while also being adjacent move in between your flow attack and trigger attack. Let's break them down. Dash attack can be performed when you are ranged from your enemy. The result of dash is normal state. Dash attack is what you should do if you want to return your enemy into a normal state to unleash a normal flow attack without breaking your combo. It is not possible to turn an airborne enemy into normal state. Separating attack can be done when you are close to your enemy. The result is stun. If you follow this with a flow attack, for example, you will be doing a stun flow attack. It is not possible to stun an airborne enemy. Smash. When you are mid-air and close to an airborne enemy, smash attack will return them back to the ground, effectively putting them into fell state. If you need to kick your airborne enemy back to the ground fast without breaking combo, then one of the ways that you can do is by using smash. Exception for Crescent Blade and Iron Fan, their smash attack actually juggles the enemy up in the air instead. Guard Break. Press triangle to enemy in guarding stance to perform guard break. The result is stun. Chance-based only executable when the criteria is met and the Q button is up. Assault attack is only doable when you're undetected and it can be done from a fairly far distance. The result is fell state. Counter-attack chance usually arise when an enemy is lunging or charging their attack. There are two variants of counter-attack and they result in two different states. Which counter-attack will be done is unpredictable. Guard counter. Unlike the other counter, guard counter requires you to block enemy attack first for the Q to appear. The result is stun. Finish. Finish Q will appear after your enemy is reaching a certain percentage of their health and takes a streak of beatings from you. The result is a kill. You can ignore finish however if you don't like it. The Q won't last forever and the enemy will need an amount of beating again for finish Q to reappear. Do take note that these chance-based reactive attacks would override situational one when the criteria meets. So that is the last one. There will be deeper information the advanced section. Since you have learned about the state results, that means you have learned how to be in control and manipulate your enemy, just like I said in the beginning. Let's practice with an example. We are going to stun the enemy and perform flow attack afterwards. We could do stun trigger attack for that, which obviously result a stun. Performing flow attack on them will unleash stun flow attack. Alternatively, doing separating attack also causes a stun and so, the flow attack will turn it into stun flow attack as well. What happens if we put them into fell, then airborne state, back to fell, and do a separating attack afterwards? The enemy ends up being stunned and so the stun flow attack will be performed when I decide to do it. Let's see what happens in the middle of stun flow attack. We do a launch trigger attack. Launch trigger attack helps keeping the enemy, that was already airborne in the middle of the stun flow attack, staying on airborne state. Performing flow attack in this momentum will initiate airborne flow attack. Right now, if we do smash attack, then we will send the enemy back to the ground into fell state. Obviously, fell flow attack will be performed should we reach them before they get up. But what if I want to return them into normal state? Then we're going to do dash reactive attack, which will return them to normal state and allows my normal flow attack to be performed. You just watched how to be in control of enemy's state by using various moves. This is what I said earlier as well, you have to know what you're doing and the result of what you're doing. Which is the states. And by doing that, we just made a combo sequence. Remember, the rule of thumb is to never spam one type of attack. Instead, you should mixing them one after another. You can start from flow attack or trigger attack or reactive attack. If you start from trigger attack, your next move should be flow attack or reactive attack. Pressing another trigger attack right after a trigger attack will screw up your chain and puts you in a halt between them. Special attack. Special attack is a stronger attack limited by a cooldown. It is exclusive to each character's special attack cooldown can be quickened by doing combos over time without being interrupted or by successing counter and finish attacks. Musou Attack. We have two Musou Attack, ground and air. Air Musou is a single burst attack that consumes a little portion of your Musou meter and only can be done from the air. Meanwhile in ground Musou, we can hold the button to drain the Musou meter for longer string portion before ending it with the final blow. Now you can combine these two to your combo mix. Or not. It's up to you. This is the end of the basic part. I recommend you to stop here and practice if you haven't. The next part will be advanced section which contains various tricks and additional informations that may confuse you if you haven't learned the basics yet. In this advanced section, I will not re-explain the basics anymore. So I expect you to know the terminologies and functions correctly. You probably have discovered some of these tips during your practice. When you are equipping your playable character with their favorite weapon, there is something what we call as the unique attack. Unique attack meant for character-exclusive flow attack and trigger attack variants. These exclusive variants work as replacements, not extension. Although considering the unique attack within flow attack is only at the last frame, some characters may produce more hits compared to the generic variant of the move they replaced. Just like special attack, doing unique trigger attack, or when you are at the frame of the unique flow attack, you're immune to incoming damage. Executing unique flow attack alters the principle a little bit. It is actually possible to follow up your unique flow attack with another flow attack, producing an even longer of flow attack string. Pay attention to the state result of unique flow attack, because they are different for each character. As for unique trigger attack, you cannot follow up unique trigger attack with another trigger attack. Trigger attack nullify. Speaking of trigger attacks, when you are fighting against Musou generals, it is possible for you to interrupt their trigger attack. You can do so by executing the same trigger attack as they are charging up with as shown in your lock-on. However, you don't have to be locked on in order to do this. Upon succession, enemies' defense will decrease for a short period of time. This also helps to empty their break gauge, which only by then, finish attack would be possible to be done on famous generals. Evasion-Roll cancel. In Dynasty Warriors 9, your first available attack cancelling move is Evasion-Roll. This is my personal favorite. Not only it looks natural, the cancel function works smoother with the whole combat system. Not to mention the invincibility frames that makes it an effective evasion similar to Dark Souls dodge roll, saving yourself from being interrupted. There's no evasion roll when you're airborne. Instead, it is called air dash. It functions similarly and also can be used as a cancel. Each air dash gives you a chance to do another sequence of airborne flow attack or smash. Evasion roll is jump, including jump cancelling, and air dash are considered adjacent moves as well. You can employ these non-offensive moves in between your attacks to gain broader connectivity in your combo sequence. Flow attack state outcome. Just like trigger attack and reactive attack we learned in the basics, every single brand of move in your flow attacks also affect different states. In this case, it is possible to cancel your flow attack with evasion roll, for example, and follow it up with another flow attack. Then you will see a different flow attack being performed based on the state caused by your last flow attack. Some of chance-based reactive attacks may override the situation-based ones. Counter would be the most common one you see it happening, so don't be surprised when it does. Counter reactive attack is possible to repeat process back to back, and so is finish, and they even may be executed one after another. Help yourself by using left analog stick to direct your character to which person they should counter or finish if they aren't locked on or right in front of you. Some separating and dash reactive attacks may secretly have extra effectivity towards airborne enemy. For example, twin axes and dual swords separating attack can immediately slam airborne enemy to the ground, putting them into fell state instead of bouncing or scattering apart. Try to play around and find out what some weapon can do better than the others. This is the end of the tutorial. I hope this helps. If you don't get it within the first few tries, then keep practicing. It is going to take a while and that is alright. Do not give up. Good luck.